question. Why do blacks have a broken family versus a nuclear family, and does that translate to higher rates of crime? Do you admit that?
Why is it that blacks don't have parents, though? Why?
Good question. We subsidize single motherhood in this country through the federal government of the United States. Great question. Now we're getting somewhere. Back in the 1960s, we put forward a program where black women married the government and broke up with the men they were with. Welfare state, Lyndon Baines Johnson, and that has contributed to blacks committing more crimes.
Welcome everyone to Talk to Kenny. Here today we're reacting to a video with Charlie Chris and debunking a race baiting student. Let's get into it.
Hi y'all. So before I ask my question, I want to clarify a point that y'all mentioned earlier. You said you don't believe in white privilege, correct?
Yeah, it's a myth. It doesn't exist.
Okay. So according to the Bureau of Prison Statistics from last month, 38.3% of our current inmate population is black. But according to the 2020 census data, only 12.2% of our national population is black. So if you don't believe in white privilege, how do you explain this disparity?
Black people do decisions that disproportionately makes them go to jail, specifically black men, right? Black men, 76%, or actually black people in general, 76%, there's a 76% chance they're raised by a single mom. In circumstances surrounding single motherhood, it sets up an environment where statistically we're 5 times more likely to do a crime, more likely to drop out of school, more likely to more likely to not go to college, I believe. There's a lot of negative statistics surrounding that situation, just that alone. And I didn't even mention race one time. I'm just saying, if you're a kid from a single mother household, you're exposed to that environment regardless if you're Asian, regardless if you're white, and regardless if you're black. And that's without any race at all. That's just based on decisions and how your parents. And then, like I said, it's not the kid's fault. It's the parents' fault. This is my argument. My argument is that black people of the current generation are suffering from the lack of results, I'll say, from the previous generation. Right? They've been voting Democrat 90% last generation, the generation before that, since the 1960s, doing the same damn thing and expecting something new to happen. But hey, look, I'm just saying, 50 years we've been voting the same way. 50 years we've been doing the same thing. And now we got young people like me who are actually speaking out now, black conservatives. We're just saying, hey, look, we're trying something else. We want to try something else. It's time for a new strategy. It's time to stop setting up our kids for failure. And let's start putting them back into 2-parent households. But y'all going to say that's not the problem. But hey, I digress, though.
So why are they in jail?
It has been this way for years, since the 90s.
No, why do people go to jail?
Why are black people in jail at higher rates than white people?
That's the question, right? Maybe because they commit more crimes than white people.
But that's not true.
That is true.
It actually is.
That is true. Because even, if you look at I think the rates too, black people are a higher victim. They have a victimization rate as well. Like a high victimization rate compared to the population. And also they commit the most crimes because most homicides, right, in the black community is black on black crime. We've robbed each other more at a disproportionate rate, and we kill each other at a disproportionate rate. So we're both the victim and the perpetrator in both those statistics. We're overrepresented. But it's not true. Oh, okay. And when I always can't stand, this is one of the main reasons I think I have such a, I'll admit it, I have such a bias against liberals is because I've seen it all my life. White liberals sitting here, never been in the hood, neither of their lives. And they're telling you how to be black. Oh, you're supposed to like this. Oh, you don't like this? What? You play chess? What? Black people don't play chess. Oh, where you learn that from? I just know. You seen it in a movie. You think we all have to follow this stereotype. And this is why, I don't know. I think I was a rebel at heart, bro. Because I never wanted to fall on the stereotype. I'm saying, so you think I'm supposed to be like this just because I'm black? That's why I hate this notion that you have to prove you are black when you're just supposed to be black. Like, you are black. You don't, like, it's not a membership. It's not like, oh, I have to work to keep it. Until I go in the grave, I'm black, bro. I could decide to like anime, I'm still black. I cannot like rap music, I'm still black. Like, those things don't constitute blackness. but you let these white liberals shame you or pressure you into trying to prove that you are part of the community when your membership was established since birth. Crazy, but I digress.
Well, they do. So every independent analysis shows that blacks have committed a disproportionate amount of crime. No one wants to say it out loud, but it's true. In fact, in New York, 52% of murders are committed by blacks, 40+% of arson, 60+% of drug deals. And so the question you should really be asking is what drives them to commit crimes? That's the question, right? The real question is, and maybe I can ask you, what percentage of blacks are raised with two parents in the home?
So actually, according to the Uniform Crime Report for 2019, Black or African American individuals committed only about 1 million crimes, while white people committed about 4 million crimes.
So
guys, can you see the flaw in how she brought up that statistic has nothing to do with her argument? It's not didn't help. That's not going to help her argument. She's complaining total numbers when she just admitted that, hey, black people are only 12% of the population. No, they're always going to commit less crimes. We're talking about usage. We're talking about percentage. If a large percentage of a certain group commits a crime compared to another percentage of a certain group, that's the problem you're trying to point out. That how they're only 12% of the population, but they commit 30% of the crime.
Yeah, but that's proportion.
Yeah, how about the proportion?
There's a lot more white people than black people in the United States.
It's a 60% white country and a 14% black country. So you just proved my point. You literally, so basically that's a disproportionate amount of crime. It is.
But listen, I want to say, look, you are coming up here and you're asking a question, and that's not easy to do, first and foremost, no matter what. And I really appreciate your question in front of all these people. It's hard. So thank you for asking your question. But let me point out what you just did, and you didn't know that you did it. You switched from proportion to raw numbers. Right. And you did that to make a point that you thought you were making, but you weren't. But look, your issue was that Black Americans only make up 13% of the population, and yet they make up, I think you said, like 38% of the prison population. And then you switched to raw numbers because, so Black people only make up 13% of the population, but they commit 40% of all homicides and 60% of all violent crime. Unfortunately, I don't think that's anything inherent in Black Americans.
No, it's just decisions you make. Show me your decisions and I'll show you your results, right? Black community, we have a disproportionate amount of single motherhoods. I think I explained that I explained this before, but single motherhood opens you up to put yourselves in these situations, right? I'm a person about mitigating risk. I want to put myself in a position where the odds are in my favor, not against me. So if the odds are in my favor that if I put my kid in a 2-parent household, he's going to be less likely to do these things. Would you not want that for your kid or for yourselves, that matter? And if you're in that situation, recognize that, hey, this is my weakness right now because I'm in an environment that I'm prone to. So let me take measures against that environment. Hey, let me not go outside. Let me stay inside. Let me study. Right? A kid from a single parent household is less likely to do homework. Homework seems to be correlated with good grades. Asian people do the most homework, and then voila, this is why the stereotype of the smart Asian kid, because they put work into it. Wherever you put time in is where you get more proficient at. And if a kid spends more time doing homework than you doing homework, do you expect the kid to be dumber or smarter than you? It's self-evident. And this is why I'm a big fan of Thomas Sowell. Look at the evidence, observe reality, and you make your assumptions based on that. You make your perceptions based on that. You don't try to perceive a notion or try to use statistics to prove a narrative. Oh my God, this proves systematic racism. No, it proves that these people, right? Because statistics to me only can prove a result. It can't prove a narrative. So all you just proved was that black people commit disproportionate amount of crime because the only way you go to jail is if you break the law. If you don't break the law, you don't go to jail. You're not proving an argument. You're not proving that there's a system out to get black people. There's not a law in the books that says if you're black, if you're walking black, you jaywalking black, you going to jail. No, there's no law like that. If there is, please show it to me, please. But I digress. Let's continue.
It's not what I'm saying. That's just the fact. And what Charlie is saying is, look, we've got to look at why that is. So you're claiming that disparity is inherent proof of discrimination. So would you also say the fact that there are fewer Asians in jail means that than white people, that there is discrimination against white people? No.
And then here's another thing. If you're one of these people that believe in systematic racism, how come Asian people, a minority group, makes the most money in the country. Asians have the highest rate of income compared to every other group. But there's supposed to be there's supposed to be a system out to prop white people up, right? Okay, explain that to me. Oh, Asians are white. It doesn't matter. You call them a minority group. There's less of them than you in the country. Asians are lesser or have a lower number compared to the black population, yet they're on the top. Y'all do the same thing to the Jewish people. They're at the top. Why? They make different decisions. My argument is always going to be the same. I don't care about all this of accountability dodging. Until the black community takes responsibility for the black community, ain't going nowhere far. We tried it y'all way. 50 years we've been waiting for the bureaucratic government, the corrupt government, politicians in there to do something for y'all. Y'all still waiting. Me, I'm rather focused on what I can do, provide for my family, and tell the government, hey, let me keep more of my money. Because y'all not doing nothing with the tax dollars. You might as well keep it with me so I could do something with it. I'm just saying.
Disparity isn't proof of discrimination is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So let me just throw, and Allie's exactly right. What percentage of blacks grow up with two parents in the home?
I don't know.
Yeah, less than 20%.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's so many blacks committing crimes and they're in jail. It's that simple. The death of the black family is why blacks are in jail higher than their population percentage. It's that simple.
May I see your criminology degree? Do you have one?
I'm sorry.
No,
Wait.
we've gotta. Are you a
We gotta argue
biologist?
from an
Ketanji
expert
Brown
thing.
Jackson.
So, no, let me ask you a question. So do I need a criminology degree to be able to understand that 75% of blacks don't grow up with two parents?
Mm-hmm.
To be well versed in it, I believe so.
Okay.
I don't think so. This is one of the reasons that made me start losing respect for the college degree now. Because I'm like, okay, you want to come saying, oh, where's your degree? I said, I don't need a degree to look with my own eyes and see statistics. As long as you can read, you can learn anything. You don't need no one to give you permission. Oh, you're smart now. I bestow upon you this criminology degree. You are now an authority. No, to me, authority is earned. Like, that's why I lost respect for all these experts, these so-called experts. Because they've been wrong too many times, and they haven't even been close. The experts a couple months ago were saying that we're not in a recession. Everything seems like we're in the signs about to be in a recession, or we're already in a recession. My view, we're in a recession already. Certain people will still say, hey, we're not in a recession quite yet, but it's highly chance we will be. I said, no, we're already in one, but you're going to wait until the temperature get hot enough. But I digress, man.
Do you have one?
I don't, but I'm studying it.
Okay,
right
but
now.
you
Oh, she studied it.
Mm-hmm. But you did the same thing. You looked at a statistic, and he did the same thing. You
Look,
don't have a criminology
Have you
degree,
even taken
neither
a
does
criminology
he.
course? Have y'all
Hold on
taken
a second.
one?
You're doing an argument from authority, okay?
It's a fallacy.
So the laws of physics don't change whether or not you're a physicist, okay? The law of thermodynamics doesn't change whether or not you take a course on it. Answer the question. Why do blacks have a broken family versus a nuclear family, and does that translate to higher rates of crime? Do you admit that?
My thing is an incentive. Like I said, humans are based on an incentive. 1964, not 1964. I forgot. It was a war on poverty. They gave an incentive to black women to marry the government and to rely on the government and not their husbands. And they made the husbands expendable. This is where that I don't need no man came from. And then, right, there's a theory. Black women had a theory. We don't need no man. Words by their words. We let them test this theory for 50 years. And look where the black community is at right now. High rate of crime, poverty out the wazoo, because the poorest person in America is a single mother. I let the results speak for itself, and all I have to do is observe that. Oh damn, look at this. They're not in a good situation. Single moms, when they pass away, they don't leave much wealth behind for their family. There's no generational wealth. You can't build no generational wealth as a single parent. It's impossible. Married people can though. Black married couples have the lowest rate of poverty compared to single black people. Like single people versus married black people. Married black people have a lower rate of poverty. So if you want to fix poverty, lower crime, all black people have to do is get married. And before you get married, you make sure you vet the person and make sure y'all have similar worldviews and similar characters if you want a lasting marriage, in my view. But that's another topic for another day. But the point is, the formula is already known. It's just this people's ego is going to get hurt to admit that they chose the wrong thing. So they sit here saying, "Oh, I did it all by myself. My son go to Harvard." For every kid that one kid that went to Harvard that came from a single mother, there's hundreds of other single mother raised kids that didn't make it anywhere, and they just became a statistic. I don't know. I'm a probability guy. I'd rather have the odds in my favor than against me. That's my argument here. And I think if the black community just be real with itself and recognize, hey, we made a bad decision. We glorified the wrong things. It's time to change course. So that way the future generations we can save the future generation, because this generation is already lost. Because we raised under single motherhood already. But hey, I digress. Some people are just comfortable in their ways. And nothing's going to make them change it because they're comfortable where they at. They're comfortable complaining. They're comfortable looking at the Democrats and waiting for something to happen. Hey.
Why is it that blacks don't have parents, though? Why?
Good question. We subsidize single motherhood in this country through the federal government of the United States. Great question. Now we're getting somewhere. Back in the 1960s, we put forward a program where black women married the government and broke up with the men they were with. Welfare state, Lyndon Baines Johnson, and that has contributed to blacks committing more crimes.
I believe institutionalized racism is your answer, but I don't believe I'm getting anywhere with y'all.
But no, just let me point something out. Did you know that it's not white Americans that have the lowest incarceration rate or the lowest rates of crime or the highest graduation rates or the highest median income?
You already know I bet you guys know who she's going to say. I bet you know who you say. What group? We already know what group. We already know what group. And this group, they're 76% married. So they're the polar opposites of the black community. I always point this out. This is my main talking point. The black community is majority raised by single motherhood. The Asian community is majority raised by married people, married Asian people. And you see the outcomes. Asian people, highest average income as a group. Black people, lowest income as a group. I mean, I think we're fighting like neck and neck with the Latinos. I'm just saying, man.
It's not white Americans. It's Asian Americans. They have the highest median income. They have the highest graduation rates. They have the most degrees. They have the lowest incarceration rates. And guess what? They also have the lowest single parenthood rates. Okay? So that is true across the board. It's not just black Americans. And unless you are willing to say that the reason why Asian Americans make more than white Americans, or the reason why Asian Americans go to jail less than white Americans, is because there is systemic institutional racism against white people in this country, then your argument against black people doesn't really work.
And the facts don't care about your feelings, man. It's like, I think you're talking about institutional racism. Bro. And that's the funny part. No one saw welfare as institutional racism until the negative after effects of receiving that benefit, that incentive. Pretty much paying you to be handicapped. Hey, here you go. If you make a certain amount of money, they'll take it away. And you don't make enough money to quite sustain yourself. Because the benefits, I believe, is worth $55K. If you don't make up at least that, you won't be able to sustain yourself without welfare, the usual welfare people. But they say if you make over $2,000 a year, they'll take it away. And you're like, oh no, my benefits. You're incentivizing them to stay in welfare. And they want you to stay in welfare because it justifies them spending the money on you. That's one of the reasons why they try to keep you. Oh no, don't cancel your welfare. Don't cancel your welfare. Because when the government budget review come on, they say, oh, you spend less money. Okay, so we only allocate you with less money. And they don't want to lose funding. So this is why they keep wanting people to be on welfare and staying on welfare. That's the incentive. But I digress, man.
Let me ask you one thing. You said institutional racism. I got a black friend right up here. He's great. He's great. So let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. What can I do that he can't do?
What do you mean?
If institutional racism was real, what can I do that he can't do?
Well, you're less likely to get arrested.
I'm sorry. No, if we both commit a crime, he's going to get arrested and I'm not?
He could.
Wait,
so we just went through this. Blacks commit a disproportionate amount of crime in this country because of broken families. So give me one law.
Shows a result. That shows a result. Hey, you commit more crimes. If you want black people to stop going to jail, we have to teach black people to stop committing crime. And if you say they're committing crime because they're in poverty, stop making them, stop having kids out of wedlock. Done. Period. Like I'm telling you, marriage, creating the nuclear family again in the black community is the key to getting done with at least most of the bull crap we're dealing with right now, economically at least. But no one want to hear it because that's not a sexy thing to proposition. Oh, that's boring. There's a reason why it's boring, because it's predictable. We know the results. We know what's going to happen if black community was 76% married instead of 76% single mothers. We'll be in a completely different. We already see the formula working with the Asian community. All we have to do as a black community is adopt the same thing they're doing, and we Gucci. We in the same. But no one want to do the work though. I'm just saying, man.
Law on the books. You said it's institutional. Give me a law anywhere that discriminates against blacks. Give me one law anywhere in America.
You want current or past?
How about right now?
Affirmative action.
Well, the fact that crack cocaine is criminalized more than regular cocaine.
No. If I deal crack cocaine, I'm getting arrested regardless of skin color. Give me a law.
White cocaine, you're
Give me a law anywhere that allows white people to commit crimes and get away with it, and blacks can't. Does that law exist?
Not anymore. But
because there's no institutional racism in America. The idea of institutional racism is laws on the books.
Just because it's not down on paper doesn't mean it's not real.
Okay, give us an example. Not just a disparity. Not just a disparity.
God?
God isn't. You don't see God.
He's on paper. Read the Bible.
I didn't mean it like that.
She said God. Crazy. Oh my God. Oh, help us.
I'm getting nowhere with y'all, and y'all are not answering my questions, so I'm going to end this Q&A right here. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
I ain't gonna continue watching that video, but damn, you see how Sassy? She's like, oh, you guys didn't answer my question. No, you mad they didn't answer it the way you wanted to answer it, and I hate, and this is why I don't like liberals, guys. But let me guys know your thoughts in the comment section below. What you think? Think the lady was being too snarky? You think that the lady thought with her feelings instead of with her head? I don't know I don't know. I can't put myself in the mindset of a liberal sometimes. But hey, I digress. Let me guys know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.